Hi, my name is Zhanar Zhakiyeva, and today I would like to present my PhD thesis in brief. I hope that you like this video. When we add water to Portland cement, cement grains dissolve and reprecipitate as calcium silicate hydrates or CSH, or calcium aluminium silicate hydrates or CaSH in case of low CO2 cements. CSH is a nanocrystalline, partially disordered, main binding phase in cement with varying calcium to silica ratios. One of the ways to represent the mesoscale structure of the CSH is by globules of about 5 nanometer size, which assemble and stack by forming nano to macro pores. On the nanoscale, each of these globules are represented by stacked layers of calcium oxides sandwiched between layers of silicon oxides. The water is omnipresent in CaSH pores. It's found inside the nano interlayers as interfacial adsorbed water and bulk-like water inside the gel pores, larger than 3 nanometer in diameter. Understanding water structure and dynamics in the CaSH phase is not only important for the setting behavior, but also because water plays a key role in cement dissolution, recrystallization, and carbonation processes. Water diffusion in CaSH nanopores is important to understand the exchange of other ions in pollutant removal or in the context of nuclear waste storage. Therefore, the main questions of my thesis were what were the structure and dynamics of water in CSH and CaSH at different hydrational levels and varying calcium to silica ratios. To answer this question, I synthesized CSH and CaSH samples and subjected them to controlled humidity levels. Then these samples were measured at synchrotron and neutron sources in France and the UK with scattering experiments, and the data was complemented by a computational model made at Princeton University in the USA. What I would like to highlight in my talk is the reason for using neutrons in my research. Neutrons interact with the nuclei of atoms, and the extent of this interaction varies randomly across the periodic table, unlike the X-rays. Hydrogen has a very large neutron incoherent scattering cross-section, therefore making water ideal to be probed by neutrons. When neutrons hit the nuclei, they can interact without losing the energy by elastic scattering, which is essentially a diffraction experiment. In case of nanocrystalline and disordered compounds, such as CSH, we can apply Fourier transformation to obtain an equivalence of pair distribution function, or PDF, where x-axes are in R space, showing distances between pairs of atoms in angstrom units. In particular, I used a method which is called a neutron diffraction with an isotopic substitution, which employs the property of neutrons to scatter isotopes differently. By performing the scattering experiments twice, on samples conditioned using regular and heavy water, we can subtract one scattering pattern from another. Then the Fourier transform difference will give information about the local ordering of water in CSH. If neutron loses or gains energy, it is called an inelastic scattering, or INS. In INS experiment, we measure the so-called vibrational density of states at different energies, which provide information about the dynamics of water in our sample. The resulting spectra have energy in x-axis and density of states in y-axis. Here you can see some highlights on the water structure. This is a comparison of the experimental neutron PDF centered on the hydrogen atom in black with the MD calculated data in color. It is clear that both plots show a good accordance of experimental data with computed data, therefore validating our MD model. Moreover, we can see that the bulk-like gel pore water at the bottom is very different from the adsorbed interfacial and interlayer water on the top. The validation of our MD model also allowed us to study the hydrogen bonding network on the CSH and CaSH interfaces and the dominating role of strongly hydrophilic calcium ions. On this slide, you can see some results on the dynamics of water. The experimental data are in blue and the computational data are in green. The three spectra demonstrate different types of water present in CSH samples, such as bulk-like gel pore water, interfacial adsorbed water, and interlayer strongly adsorbed water. The spectra are experimentally and computationally distinct, revealing typical water signals such as translational modes at lower energies, librational modes, which are hindered rotations of the H-bonded water molecules, and bending modes of water. Water self-diffusion coefficient showed that interfacial water molecules are about 100 times more constrained than the bulk-like gel pore water, in a good accordance with the literature. Overall, in this short time, I hope that I could convey the potential of using neutron scattering combined with computational methods to study water and cementitious materials on the atomic scales. Thank you for your attention.